Okay, so every year I keep a reading journal, and last year I got really into it and made it really like spectacular. I'll show you that probably in a few days next week. I still have to finish my December entries, so I kind of want to leave it and flip through the whole thing at once. But I started setting up my 2025 reading journal, and it's slightly different. This year I went for a hardbound book rather than a spiral. And this journal is from Archer and Olive. If you look up reading journal setups on YouTube, a lot of book talkers and YouTubers will use the Archer and Olive journals. So I wanted to see what it was like. So I waited until their Black Friday sale, and their journals are usually like $40. They're really expensive. But they had their Black Friday sale, and then I got this one. It was like an older picture, so it was already on the clearance, and then the Black Friday sale on top of that, and I had like a welcome coupon because I'd never ordered from them before, so I got this journal for like $12 and it started out at like $40, so I'm pretty pleased with myself. So this journal came from their fall collection. Apparently they put out like collections that have like different pictures on the front each like season, I guess. I don't know, I don't really follow them that much, but I liked this one because it's in a the color is oxblood, and that's like one of my favorite colors. It's very Downton Abbey. And I kind of liked the pictures on the front. It looks like a one of those photo walls with all the frames and stuff. I think this came from their fall collection because there's a pumpkin. So anyway, so this is the journal. It has like little Archer and Olive like symbol thing. These are like ribbon bookmarks, but I haven't moved them from where they came. I'll probably just leave them in the same spot. And then it's got this, and it's got a pen loop. I don't use the pen loop. So let's go ahead and open it up. So I've been working on this during my Christmas break. So we open it up, and so the inside, this is how the journal came, and then this is like the ex libris for the front. I glued in the girl, and obviously wrote my name and stuff. And then I got these stamps from Hobby Lobby for $2. They're varsity letters, so they've got like that varsity font. And the reason for that is because I wanted a theme for my book journal, and so I found a pack of scrapbooking paper that was academia themed. So it looks like sweaters and books and libraries and Oxford looking buildings and things like that. So I really liked that scrapbook paper. So I was glad that I found stamps that kind of go along with that theme. So the next page, I'm gonna cover this up a little bit, is some of the paper from that scrapbook paper pack. It's library card due dates, and then over here it says look for me in the library, and then this has got like my contact information on it. It looks like one of those checkout library cards. So it's got like my cell phone, my email, my TikTok, my Instagram on it. So, and the stars, the metallic stars, they are Avery foil star labels. You can find them at like Walmart, but I figured that was another thing that could be like the theme that is cohesive throughout. So let's go ahead and flip to the first page. So this is like the opening splash page. So I have like an image and then like a quote that's like supposed to be like a quote for the overall year. And again, the little foil stickers. Yes, I'm in love with them. They're just so shiny. I put them on every page. So reading is my safest place and my wildest adventure. I kind of wish I did not fussy cut this. I wish I had left it like square, but then you would not have seen the background as much. And then this picture was found on Pinterest. So the next page is my index which has like my table of contents. This was some of the paper from the paper pack. Same up there. This is the books read. So I have this like foil washi, and so like the foil washi, the matching stars go with it. I use the stamps again. So this is a list of all the books that I read or will read in 2025. So I gave myself 3 pages. I read 100 books in 2024. So I hope I left myself enough space to write all of them. The next spread is on the GoodReads Choice Awards for 2024. I always try to read some. And so what I did was I printed out off of their website like the page of the winners. And then I clipped them out and put them in here. I have these little rating stickers that I stick underneath books. And I color in how many stars. So that's why I left space underneath each one. I'll put one of those rating stickers and then maybe like write a little blurb or something. Books that I'm definitely excited about. I definitely want to read The Women. Somewhere Beyond the Sea, I'm saving for when I need a really good book, you know, because I know that this is going to be a great book. Stephen King's short stories. This one sounds really cool. This one I would like to read, The Ministry of Time, but it's like really heavy sci-fi speculative fiction. So I might have to save that for when I have more brain cells. The third Gilmore Girl is definitely on my list. I've actually got that on hold at the library. I'm just waiting for it to come in. And then this one is The Bookshop, A History of the American Bookstore. That just sounds cool. I'm not really that into nonfiction all the time, but that just sounds like a cool concept. So there's that spread. The next spread, these are 25 books coming out in 2025 that I am excited about. So let me just zoom in a little bit. This font is actually from Canva, and it's like called Varsity or something. Obviously my stamps are very big, so I wanted to keep the same font, and I think I matched it pretty well. Thank you, Canva. So that I could get the dates. So these are the books that I'm really excited about coming out in 2025. Some things to note, definitely the Grady Hendrix Witchcraft for Wayward Girls sounds really good. Elowen Ivy's new one, Blackwood's Blue Sky. Scythe and Sparrow is the conclusion to the Butcher and Blackbird series. I'm so excited about that one. Literally cannot wait till that comes out. The new Stephen Graham Jones, which is the Buffalo Hunter. Stephen Graham Jones is like just prolific horror writer, and he only writes during the summer because he is an English professor first, and I love that. Anyway, so what he does is he tries out, he talked about this, I watched my library hosted him, and so I got to go and watch him on Zoom and stuff do like a talk about books and how he writes, and he talks about, you know, how he tries out stuff on his students. So the Buffalo Hunter is his take on vampires. I'm so excited. Abby Jimenez, this looks like a good one. The title comes from a Taylor Swift song. Let's see. Rebel in the Deep is the 3rd book in the Hunt on Dark Waters series from Katie Robert. Katie Robert's like a hit or miss for me. Like the first book, I salivated over every word of that book. It was so good, Hunt on Dark Waters. Second book was kind of like meh. So I'm really hoping that the 3rd one pulls it home. Taylor Jenkins Reid has a new book coming out called Atmosphere. She's taking on astronauts. The Bewitching is coming from Silvia Moreno Garcia, who's one of my favorite writers. I'm so excited about that. I literally don't care what the book is about. She wrote it. I will read it. Hot Wax from ML Rio. Again, she's really awesome. I actually went and saw her SLU. St. Louis University hosted her as a guest lecturer, and so I got to go and meet her and listen to her book reading and stuff. It was really cool. And then I'm also waiting for The 7 Rings from Nora Roberts, which is the conclusion of the Lost Bride trilogy. So this one, and this one don't have their final covers. These are just like the, hey, this book is coming out covers. I don't know if I'm going to replace the covers when they actually get finalized or not. We'll see. The rest of the books are just ones that sparked my interest, that they're popping up on like GoodReads, anticipated reads of 2025, New York Times, anticipated reads. I have not gotten a hold of Book Pages, like promo stuff, because my library hasn't gotten in the January issue yet, obviously. But I imagine they'll have like anticipated reads as well. This one sounds really cool. It's called The Talent, and I think it's going to be in the vein of The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, being like an example of what it's like behind the fame. I don't know. Might be good. So those are 25 books out in 2025. Obviously, there's a lot more books coming out, but those are the ones that I'm keeping an eye on. So my next spread is called From the Library of BookTok. I love BookTok. I lay in bed at night and I watch BookTok. And some creators, I will literally just watch them just because it's them. Like, I will never read that book, but I like them, so I will listen to their review. So these are my top BookTokers I watch. And I looked at their best of 2024 lists and picked a book off of their list that sounded cool. So, let me see. Let me go up here and... So Sydney Books, oops, sorry about that. Sydney Books, she does a lot of horror, spooky, mystery, thriller types. Bailey, she does a lot of spicy books. Baker, he does like boy books, which I think it's good to see boy books. But this was a horror book that sounded really kind of cool, Latina horror. Danny reads books here. She does a lot of young adult lit, and she does a lot of audio lit. That's why she usually has headphones on. Books Are Sick. He is a big Stephen King person and horror reader, but him and his wife are both huge readers, and so they do like a ongoing series of he'll read a book from her bookshelf and she'll read a book from his, and then they get together and they talk about it, and I really like those. Delaney here, she kind of reads a lot of chick lit, which I don't always like, but I like listening to her talk about them. But she read The Women by Kristen Hanna, and that sounds really good. It's about women during the Vietnam War. Let's see. Ghostly reads, her name's actually Sonia. She does horror books, and she reads some really freaky horror books. But she's recommending Don't Let the Forest In, which is a YA horror, and she says it was really good. Jack here is a hipster, but he just recently discovered the scanner system that I have for my library books in my personal library, and so he's currently scanning all of his books, and it's kind of fun because he's doing the same things that I did. Oh, I forgot I had this book, or oh, this was such a good book, and those are fun videos to watch. Elise up here, she has ADHD, I think that's what she said she has, but she likes to read books that have good representation. So her big thing right now is Allie Hazelwood's, like her STEM books, and so I want to give one of those a try. BookTok Benny. Benny is so funny. He is so funny. He reminds me of Kurt from Glee. He always wears a baseball cap backwards. He's a special education teacher, I think. But he reads a lot of spicy books. And he also, like, critiques, like, how books are published and, like, covers and stuff. And he's just so sarcastic and funny. Erica with a CK here. She's an anti-vaxxer. And I just found that out. So I'm kind of like, but she does a lot of spicy books, but also a lot of Kindle Unlimited books. So she talks a lot about, like, Kindle Unlimited stuff. Jason here, he reads anything and everything, but he's mostly in fantasy books. He also does board games. So sometimes he'll do a book review, sometimes he'll do a board game review, and those are really pretty good too. He's a hoot. He just did this 25-day advent calendar thing for Christmas, and he was just so funny. Every day it was a different video from this advent calendar, and it was funny. Zuki here, I think that's how you say her name. But anyway, she's a Scotland, Ireland, UK somewhere. But she gets, like, her books are very thinking man books, basically. And so I like to see that because she reads stuff that's, like, completely different than anybody else's. Jono here, I'm pretty sure he's gay, but he reads a lot of, like, spicy books, but he's not, like, he doesn't just read gay books, he reads straight books too. So I like his perspective a lot of times, but also he reads a lot of funny books, and I don't generally read funny books. I read horror. So it's nice to have a boy's perspective, a gay man's perspective, but also somebody who reads humor. Tyranny, oh my god, if you've never watched Tyranny Reads, you need to look her up. She's also on Facebook. She is so funny. She's Australian, and she reads spicy books, and the comments she makes on these spicy books, they are not safe for work. I cannot repeat them because I will blush. But she is so funny. And sometimes she clips her microphone to like a wine glass, and she's like, it's wine o'clock. And then she'll talk about her books. And she is just so funny. Like, I cannot recommend her more. You have to look her up. Tyranny Reads. Okay. Last, we have All Things Erin. She reads a lot of horror books, but she is just getting into horror. So she's discovering these books, and she's like, this book. And then she'll talk about it. She's like, I didn't know people could write that down. But she also reads a lot of African American lit and BIPOC lit, and she looks for, like, minority literature. And so I really like that because she shows a side of books that I don't always know that that's what that book is about. Does that make sense? So I really like her. So that's from the library of BookTok. So those are my BookTok recommendations for this year. The next page, this is my series tracker. I've started some series, or I have, like, the first book of it, or I have, like, an ebook of it, or it's on hold at the library or something, or I want to read it again. Like, I read the first 2 books of A Court of Thorns and Roses when they first came out, like, a decade or so ago. I don't remember what it's about. Vaguely do I remember, so I'm going to read it again. Alex Stern, I absolutely loved, by Lee Bardago. That was 9th House and Hellbent. So I want to read that again. But basically, I read a book and I fill in the square. So, like, Crimson Sails by Katie Robert has 3 books. So I need to fill in 1 more because I've read 2. I need to update this because I kind of copied it over from my last year book, but I need to update this. But these are some book series that I'm interested in reading. So many books, so little time. The next one, this is the alphabet spread. So basically, let me see if I've got, like, a little template laying around here that I can steal. Do I have a template? Yes. Okay. So whenever I do my book reviews, I always print out a miniature of the book cover. And so what I did was I measured all the squares. So the alphabet challenge is to read 1 book that starts with each letter of the alphabet. And some of them can be kind of hard. So, like, if I were to read A Quiet Storm, technically it starts with A, but I would give it to Q. Like, you know what I mean? So this one, for example, this one's called The Deadening. So I could give this to D and glue it right here for D. Right? Deadening. I would cut it out better. Or I could put it over here for T, for the. And then hopefully the goal is to fill in every alphabet letter by the end of the year. The next page, okay, so Read the Rainbow is a similar challenge. The goal is to find a book that is primarily that color. So example, again, The Deadening, this book is black, so I would glue it for black. It does have a lot of pink and red on it, so I don't think I would really reach for that first. But I would want to try to get as much of that color in as possible. So the next page is TBR Dice. So this is like a prompt board. So I don't know what to read. I'm going to roll the dice. And so if I get a 1 and a 2, I could do a book with a white on its cover, or I could do 1, 2, book with purple on its cover, and then I would fill in that box. I think I'm going to get some clear stickers and just stick it over it, kind of like a bingo board, so I know which ones I've done. So that's TBR Dice. Let's see. The next page is my reading goals. So my reading goal this year is 125 books. I read 100 in 2024 and I didn't really try. Like, I just kept reading. So I imagine if I actually thought about what I'm reading, I could probably hit 125. So that's my goal. Plus it's 25 for 2025. Haha. So what I did was I found this on Pinterest. It's like bookshelves. And so I'm going to color in each book when I read a book. So once I put the, to make it 125 books because there was more, I used my washi tape to cover up some of the books so that they're sparkly and it like looks nice. But it also makes it so it ends up being exactly 125 white books. So I can color them in as we go along through the year. And I just thought she was cool. And it kind of reminds me of Belle's library. So she's like a Belle for me. Let's see. So this page I will look at almost every day because, you know, usually I finish a book every 2 to 3 days, usually. This page I will look at every single day. I did last year. I know I'm going to do it again. So every day I come in and I color in how many pages I read in a year. So up here, I haven't picked my colors for this year, but I'll pick colors and then do a key. So like if I read 1 to 25 pages, it'll be pink. So if on January 1st I read 25 pages, I would color in this box pink. And the goal is to color in every box. So you read every day, obviously. And then I think I'm going to put like a dot on days where I finish a book, maybe. I don't know. And then this side, I also read a lot of audiobooks. I like listening to them in the car and when I'm sitting at my desk doing monotonous things like paperwork and stuff. And when I clean in the house, I put in my earbuds and I listen to audiobooks and I clean. So I'm planning on this year adding this one and doing like a minute scale. So if I listen to like 60 minutes, it's going to be pink or whatever color. So these two are stickers. They're full sheet stickers from Planner Kate. And this header this year is actually up here when you get the sticker, but it was too tall. So I had to trim it off and I put it along the side and I think it looks okay. And the last page that I did for my opening is my caw pile, which this is my rating system. I think I want to put something here, but I don't know yet. So we'll think about that. But caw pile stands for character, atmosphere, writing, plot, intrigue, logic, and enjoyment. And I used this rating system last year and I really, really liked it. I felt that it was very fair to judging books and giving them stars. So basically you have 7 categories. You give each category a number and then you divide the whole number by 7 because you have 7 categories. So you want an average. And then you go over here and you look up where that average lies in the scale. And that's how many stars it is. Pretty easy. So like if I got all 6s for this, 6 times 7 is 42, divided by 7, you got a 6. So 6 is in this section here. So that book would be a 3-star book. I think it's a little bit fair to do it, especially since you're actually looking at different categories. So like for character, and I wrote all of these, so I'm very proud of this. This category looks at character development. Are the main characters fully formed and the side characters interesting? Do the characters develop throughout the story with believable motivations and conflict? Another important aspect is diversity. Are the characters diverse in race, background, gender, beliefs, and or sexuality? So you would think about that, like, I have these like memorized. I just, character 6, character atmosphere 4, like because I've done it so many times. But I would think about, okay, how were the characters in this book? Were they bad, poor, average, good, excellent? If they were average, are they low average, mid average, or high average? So is it a 4, or 5, or a 6? And then I would give it a score. I love this rating system. I got it from online. There's some YouTube videos that talk about it, and just Google Caw Pile and you'll see all the stuff that comes up. I think Book Riot did a good article on it. But I absolutely love it. It's a great way to review your books and give them star ratings. So yeah, so that's the opening spreads of my reading journal for 2025. I am so pleased with this. And like I said, all the papers and like these tags and stuff, they all came from that one scrapbook paper pack from Michael's called Academia. I got it in the scrapbooking aisle. And so like, I love how all the colors, all the pages, all the things go together. I think I've done a really good job. I'm so excited. I can't wait to start using this. So yeah, that's my book journal so far. I need to set up January, but I haven't picked what books I want to read in January. I might do a TBR game and do something simple, because I read a lot in December. I did this children's Christmas bookathon where I read children's books all during Christmas break, and so like my brain is a little bit tired. I'm a little burnt. I've read a lot of books this week. So we will see what I do in January. But that's my book journal so far. I'm so proud of it. Thank you for looking through it with me. I hope it inspires you to also keep a book journal.